Oh, no, we're
Maybe
not on
not.
yet.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we certify our closed sessions and that we talk about only what we convene the closed session to talk about.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any concerns, comments, questions? If not, Ms. Kim?
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Andrews.
Aye.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Councilman Five.
Aye.
Councilman Hucks.
Aye.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Mayor Hessel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we convene another closed session pursuant to Section 2.23711A1 of the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended to discuss appointments to the Parks and Recreation Board.
Should we move it down under J, after J? Instead of right now, go ahead with our new business and then do it.
We can do it right now.
Move we do
Have to
it
do
now.
it before these, because then we announce it.
Some that are not comfortable with doing, naming these people tonight. So if there's a consensus here that we want to go back in the closed.
I think Carrie was just suggesting, rather than going right back in now, items and then do it later. That's what he was suggesting. Not that we don't do it. He was just saying maybe we don't.
Your motion is fine if you want to add another number there, Randy? Or-
Might I suggest, assuming you get a second, that you, based on the conversation, you make it essentially H3A to happen between scheduled items H3, which is school board appointment, and the previously scheduled item 4, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board.
I'll second that.
Okay. All right, any concerns, comments? If not, Ms. Kim?
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
Councilman Hucks.
Aye.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Five.
Aye.
Councilwoman Andrews.
Aye.
Mayor Hessel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Three and 4 out of the way. Resolution making appointment to the Poquoson City School. Someone prepare with a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt a resolution making an appointment to the school board with the following name inserted, Timothy A. Goodale, Jr.
Second.
Okay, motion made and second that we adopt the resolution with that name inserted. Any concerns, comments? Any questions? Okay, Ms. Kim?
Councilman Five.
Aye.
Councilwoman Andrews.
Aye.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Councilman Hucks.
Aye.
Mayor Hessel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
First, we'll do the closed session before the.
Got it. Okay, let's, on the new business, item 1, it's an ordinance making additional appropriations for fiscal year 2022 in the general fund and the capital projects fund for land acquisition and press box at Poquoson Middle School football field. Randy?
It's okay with you, Mr. Mayor, I'll ask Tanya, our Assistant City Manager, to brief this item.
All right.
Operating funds in FY22 to purchase land located at 930 Yorktown Road. It's approximately 6.649 acres. It is 3 parcels. We're asking to appropriate roughly around $445,000 to purchase the land and related closing costs associated with the purchase. Tonight, we're requesting that we move $150,000 from the stormwater TMDL project, which was bond money that we received in 2018. If you recall, we borrowed about $18 million. And of that borrowing, we used $150 slated for the stormwater. We're going to use credit from past history to satisfy that, so that money needs to be spent within 5 years. So we're asking to reappropriate that money as well as use unrestricted fund balance. We plan on, after the close of the years, we still got about 30 days left of the audit, maybe a little bit more. We anticipated our fund balance to increase for the general fund, and that is the unrestricted fund balance. So we're asking to use a portion of that to purchase the land. In addition, we've come up with an opportunity to purchase a press box. The press box currently at the middle school football field is located on the visitor side. This would bring the press box over to the home field. We're not getting a new stadium. However, it would be a press box located on the home side. And so that's roughly about $75,000 that comes from unrestricted fund balance as well from the general fund.
Tanya, thank you very much. Well done, Randy.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, just a footnote, I would point to an amended staff report and an ordinance at your place. As we prepared this, we mistakenly referenced it as the Western District site. It's adjacent to the Western District, but it is actually in the Central District.
Really close to the Western.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Any questions of Tanya? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, ready for a motion?
Mayor, I move that we adopt an ordinance making additional appropriations for fiscal year 2022 in the general fund and the capital projects fund for land acquisition and press box at the Poquoson Middle School football field.
Okay, thank you, bud.
Second.
Motion made second, we adopt that ordinance. Any concerns or comments, any questions regarding
Having a
those
park,
funds?
having a park, even though it's technically not in Western, it sits on the boundary. And that was a question when I first got on council, about what are you going to do to try to get some kind of park in the Western area, because there isn't one. And I think this is a great step forward.
Thank you, Kerry. Okay, Ms. Kim?
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Hucks?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
After 8.5 years on the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, looking for a park in the Western District, I vote aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilwoman Andrews?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman?
Aye.
And Mayor Hessel?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Item 2 is the proposed changes to City of Poquoson Personnel Policy, Manual Policy 7, Recruitment, Hiring and Promotion, and Policy 39, Employee Conduct and Progressive Discipline.
I'll take
Mr.
this one,
Wheeler.
Mr. Mayor. Thank you, members of council. Mr. Mayor, this item is brought forward for your consideration. As council may be aware, the city's personnel policy manual gives me the responsibility with my team to prepare proposed changes for your consideration. Only the city council has the ability to actually change the policy manual. There are 2 changes being proposed this evening to a document which has last seen a major update from 2015. The first is to respond to some realities in today's hiring market. Specifically, in 2015 or thereabouts, we amended our policy to increase the number of employees that were required to have residency within the system, to include all the department heads, in addition to the assistant city manager, myself by contract and by charter, and by tradition and extreme good practice, the police chief and the fire chief. As we've continued down the road, we're seeing increased market competitiveness for folks, and a residency requirement in which a person is required to move here often precludes us getting candidates, particularly if they might live in a 15 or 20-minute radius from us. That's a heavy lift for some families, so we would like to back that off from a requirement for any position other than the manager, assistant manager, fire chief, and police chief, to, instead of it being mandated, that it be strongly preferred. The second item is a result of some recent experience and also a recent discussion with the senior management team. The proposal is to amend the Group 1 offenses, which is the standard playbook for disciplinary action for Group 1 offenses, which are the least serious in our manual. often constituting the first time an employee is even brushed up against this policy. Our present policy, and it was this way when I got here, suggests the appropriate recourse, disciplinary recourse, is a documented verbal reprimand. And if you really think about documented verbal reprimand, documenting something that's verbal makes it documented. And additionally, for certain minor offenses and first-time offenses, within the context of an HR policy, which is supposed to be constructive whenever possible, we were requesting that we change that to documented counseling rather than reprimand. We take out the verbal completely. And then I would note to you that these are guidelines. The seriousness of an individual incident may move it up or down on this continuum, and also the person's position within the organization may have an impact. Generally speaking, the higher they might be in the organization chart, the more serious it would be for a first-time type of offense. And with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions, but these are two proposals that I would request your consideration of.
Any questions of the manager? Okay, if not, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt ordinance amending the personnel policy manual for the city of Poquoson regarding policy 7, recruitment, hiring, and promotion, and policy 39, employee conduct and progressive discipline.
Second.
A motion made and seconded that we adopt those proposed changes. Any concerns, comments, questions? Okay, Ma'am?
Councilwoman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman?
Aye.
Councilman Hucks?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Mayor Hessel?
Aye.
Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Now we pick up H3, which is another closed session. Who's got the
We
motion?
need to make that motion again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I move that we convene a closed session pursuant to section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia, 1950, as amended, to discuss appointments to the Parks and Recreation Board.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, we go to closed session. Ms. Kim?
Vice Mayor Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilman Hucks?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Mayor Hessel?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
All right, thank you, Kim.